How's it going, everyone? This is dance coach Rudy. Welcome to my YouTube live. So, I'm making this video is kind of like um, I'm gonna talk about my dance classes, the styles of dances that I teach, and pretty much my services. So, so I offer different styles of dances. I actually first let me introduce myself. I'm dance coach Rudy. I'm in the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles, California. I teach dance classes, group lessons, and private lessons as well. Um, and I offer them in different places in the San Fernando Valley. I've been teaching dance for quite a while already. Um, I would say I have dance experience. I've been a dancer pretty much ever since I was a kid, um, and um, and also teaching experience. I have like teaching dance is about 20 plus years of teaching dance in the San Fernando Valley. I've taught at different places. I taught at gyms, at dance studios, community centers. I've taught at schools as well. Um, you know, different places, and yeah, and so I've been a dancer for a long time. I enjoy it. It's pretty fun. That's my passion. Um, and also, you know, I love to teach dance too, and the way I like to do it is I like to break down a lot of when I teach dance, whenever I have my dance classes, I like to simplify as much as possible. Um, the dance, you know, um, steps, rhythms, timings, patterns, styling. Um, and so if you're a beginner, it's pretty much you want to join my classes because to be honest with you, I've seen other dance instructors out here, and it's kind of like a sink or swim situation where um, if you don't have the basics down, then you're gonna have a tough time learning what they're teaching. So I do dance classes that are you know for someone who has no experience at all and who wants to learn the basics and fundamentals. And I teach beginner classes, and I also teach what I call beyond beginners. And what it is I don't really call it intermediate or anything. It's just beyond the beginner phase, and we start with foundation, and then we work on our way up to as far as time is permissible. I mean, time allows us to, you know, cover certain amount of material, and also it depends on the level of the students as well. Um, so this is why I kind of call it beyond beginners because it all depends on the students involved. I don't like overwhelming my students too much, from my experience. So, and now it's like before I used to have open levels dance classes, but I noticed that I couldn't make two types of people happy. Um, those who are what I call, like baby beginners, where they can't even do any basics at all, or they have a hard time you know doing basics, or they may be a slower learner. Um, and then you got people who pick up dance fast. Some of them may be baby beginners, but they're fast learners. Or you got people who already know the basics and they want more. And so what happens is if I put them both in the open levels, um, either one's gonna be not is not gonna be satisfied. So the baby beginners will say it's too hard, and then a lot of times they'll get discouraged and not want to come back. Or the ones that know the baby beginner foundations will be unsatisfied and they'll say, "Oh, I want more. This is too boring," right? So so I decided not to have open levels. I used to have open level dance classes, but what I'm doing now is I'm separating like, beginner level 1 or which I call baby beginners, and then I'll have a separate class called beyond beginners and and so that's the levels I usually teach and so and I teach different styles of dances too. As you guys might not know, I've sh- I I've been dancing for a very long time, um, and I have a lot of experience with the dances that I teach. So I obviously I teach popping classes or lessons. And all of these are group or private lessons. The styles that I'm mentioning here. So I teach popping lessons, and I'm actually doing a class right now in popping, and I teach the fundamentals to popping. If you guys don't know what popping is, it's like a dance. It originated back in the '70s with the funk in Los Angeles, um, and then became really popular during the '80s, during the whole, um, during the whole early electro rap, scene, early '80s. Um, I was involved in the early '80s phase, um, and a lot of us were into popping and breaking and stuff. I um I used to break dance, but no longer break dance. As you get older, it's like, oh man, you want to be careful with your not injuring your body. Although there's some older guys that can still break dance, and much props to them. But I'm not willing to take that risk because I know some friends who are older and now they're complaining about having issues with their body and everything. So I don't want to be in that situation. So, but I continued popping. So popping is like, you know, it's 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 a style that's you could dance to with a lot of different types of music: funk, electro rap, hip hop, um, even house. Um, it's just a lot of stuff, a lot of different dances that you can pop to. So I go over like the fundamental foundations of popping. It's what they call popping, and like you're tensing, your your body. You do what is like a one like a one count. I mean a single pop or double pop, and you learn how to maneuver yourself with those pops. I show different angles, um, different, you know, positions like you can pop, and you could use your hands, your arms, and different angles and different positions and everything. So we go over a lot of drilling in basic fundamentals of popping. And after that, I kind of like teach other like styles, um other styles. Usually poppers do other styles as well. Um so I teach waving, uh I teach cutting, what they call boogaloo as well, robot. I teach yeah, liquid waves too, some strutting, um toy man. um Actually right now I actually been teaching somebody that's in the music industry, and she wanted to learn how to pop, so she came to me, and I'm teaching her lessons. In the first class we went over popping, just fundamentals of popping, the different like arm positions, and just grooving and moving the body. um and then the second class we went over robot, the dime stops and the different, ways to move with the dime stop. And then the third class we went over waving and boogaloo, connecting waving with boogaloo. um and it's like learning how to do arm waves, body waves, um and even the boogaloo chest rolls, the hip rolls, the leg rolls, and even the head rolls, and even learning how to flow and connect with the waves with the boogaloo looks is pretty cool, and just pretty much teaching, concepts of popping. And I did some drills with her, and we actually did what's called a domino. So what happens is I do we start off like just popping our body, and just if be in tune with the beat, aligned with the beat. And then we one guy like well initiate like one move, and then she has to copy that. It's like a domino effect, right? And I drilled that with her, and so she's getting the hang of it. And also the so the first class was strictly popping, second class was robot, third class was waving and boogaloo, and the fourth class was tutting, toy man, and strutting. So, and what she did is she took a 4 week lesson with me, and it was actually at out here in the San Fernando Valley at a park out here. Um, and so I met her, and she wanted to learn popping. She's in the music industry, so and I'm going over like fundamentals of that and showing her how she can flow in and out of those styles, and even add popping to those styles as well to keep it as officially a popping dance, right? So if you're not popping, then you're doing some other style, right? so um so we go over like the basic fundamentals of popping, and then I actually taught her how to robot, and also to pop with the robot as well. And then also how to wave with the robot. I mean, pop with the wave, pop with the wave. You end a wave with a pop, or I even showed her how to tick with do ticking type waves. Um, and then for the tutting, I showed her the tutting and how to pop the tuts as well. So, and I showed her how to maneuver and move around with all that different styles and everything. So she's still working on popping though. She's getting better. Actually, she's looking even more funkier because she likes the boogaloo style where she's moving the legs and all that, and the hips and the chest, and so she's looking more groovy, more funkier. So that's pretty cool to see someone who had no no experience in popping, and now she's starting to groove, and she's starting to do some basic popping and stuff, and she's gonna actually continue with me even more. So she's excited about learning this whole dance called popping and stuff. So yeah, definitely. So that's just you know just what I'm actually doing with my popping class right now. So I teach different styles of dances and everything, and like on Tuesdays at the VFW in San Fernando. um it's from 7 to 9 p.m. I teach a lot of different partner dances. So popping was is more like a solo dance, right? Unless you're doing a domino or something. But I teach partner dances as well. And let me actually list all the dances that I do. I actually have a list of them. So I teach, you know, salsa, I teach cumbia, I teach bachata, I teach merengue, I teach cha cha cha, I teach rockabilly jive, and I teach Latin hustle, and I teach swing as well. And let me go over the different, like, what I actually, what type of what these dances are all about and stuff like that. So on Tuesdays, and it's not just Tuesdays. I also have a 4 week session on Saturdays at a park in Mission Hills. So let me just say mention my schedule though. Mission Hills on Saturdays, 12 to 2 p.m. I have a 4 week session, and it could be any of these dance styles, whatever's requested by the client. Okay, and or it could be several clients, and they all basically vote on what dance they would want to all learn and stuff like that. And I have dance classes on Saturdays, also Wednesdays at El Criso Park, um, and it's from 7 to 9 p.m. It's a 4 week session as well, and the same thing. It could be any of those dance styles, whatever's requested. It's a 4 week session, and also I have Tuesdays, 7 to 9 p.m. at the VFW in San Fernando, and I also offer private lessons. So depending on your schedule, my schedule, we could try to, see if we can meet up and and do any of these styles. And I also teach other styles not listed here for private lessons. Like I said, I teach. Let me go over the list again. So I teach salsa, cumbia, bachata, merengue, cha cha cha, rockabilly, jive, Latin hustle, swing, and I also teach house dancing. Uh, it's kind of like house dancing, rebel style, high energy style. That's the LA style that a lot of us brown folks used to dance back in the 90s and stuff. I teach that. I'm an old school rebel house dancer, so I teach that style, and it's a lot of times people think house dancing is like the Chicago style or New York style. And I'm not dissing any of those styles, but LA had their own styles too. Actually, I'm a big fan of the New York style of house dancing, but LA had their own style of house dancing, and we also had new LA style. LA styles they had a mix of different things, influences. especially in the brown community, the house dance, the rebel style was big time influenced by high energy dance. And a lot of people don't even know this. So when you saw rebels, dancing and doing their, doing their styling, arm styling and hand movements and all that, they get a lot of that from high energy. So I do I you could dance this rebel style to house music, high energy, and even to like um dark wave as well, industrial music. Um so rebel style, that's what I do right there. LA rebel style, house dancing, high energy. And I also teach popping as well. And in the genre of popping is popping, waving, robot, cutting, boogaloo, toy man, strutting, even floats and stuff like that. Liquid and a whole bunch of other styles. I just can't name them all, but under the genre of popping. So so that's what I teach. So those are the solo ones. So it's popping, house dancing, and I also teach funk dancing too. So if you like to dance to funk, learn some popping. But I also do now is the two-step types variations, and I have a lot of footwork and a lot of rhythms and everything with the two-step. I know, like I've been to places like Santa Fe Springs swap meet, and a lot of the brown folks there like to do the two-step type dance, and I see a lot of times they're not doing much. It's just, they're not. Some people even make comments and saying that, "What is that? The toddler dance?" But what I think a lot of the Santa Fe Spring swap meet dancers need is more variation in their dance. So what I do is I have a lot more footwork with that two step, and I even incorporate what's called Latin Boogaloo. At one time, Latin Boogaloo in the '60s and the '70s, dance. They would do the two step, but it was like they had different variations of it. It's pretty cool when you dance Latin Boogaloo to funk music and stuff. And and yeah, so those are like pretty much the solos I teach. I mean, solo dancing is house, popping, and then even some of the funk type, you know, funk and disco as well. Well, the high energy and disco as well is kind of crossover as well. Um, so I teach some of those type of you know solo dances. So let's get to the partner dances. So in salsa, I teach what's called LA style salsa, and it's real popular out here in Los Angeles, and especially out here in the clubs and everything. And also I have, especially like with the so in salsa you have the partner work, you also have footwork as well, the salsa shines. And with the salsa shines, I do a lot of different, old school, obviously we have salsa, and then I put some rumba in there. I put what they call guaguancon. Um I put you know, what's it called? Mambo. The you know, the mambo of the '50s, Cuban mambo, even the Cuban type footwork and stuff like that. LA style footwork as well. Um, and I teach the timing, the arm patterns, and in LA style salsa we do a lot of intricate arm patterns. and everything, and that's what I teach there. Um, so LA style with other influences, especially from the Cuban style and stuff like that. um, and also cumbia. I teach cumbia as well. It's real popular, especially in the brown communities out here in Los Angeles. I teach classical cumbia and cumbia sonidera, and and in the cumbia sonidera, well, obviously the classical cumbia is just the basic, arm patterns, and in the cumbia sonidera is the basic arm patterns, but we also go over what's called guaracha, and it's an old school dance. A lot of Mexicans, especially Mexicans, we preserve the whole dance called guaracha, which goes all the way back. I think like it goes really back far in time and history. Um, it became very popular in the 50s and all that, back in the mambo guaracha days, especially like in the black and white Mexican films and stuff like that. So we do guaracha footwork and then cumbia arm patterns and everything. So and then I teach bachata, and I teach a lot of different styles of bachata. The main ones is uh, obviously the traditional Dominican style. I teach the modern bachata style and some sensual style as well. Um, I'm actually one of the few instructors that actually teach authentic traditional Dominican style in Los Angeles. I've seen other instructors claim that they teach Dominican style, but it's not really Dominican traditional style. Maybe, I mean, a lot of times they'll just do a few triple steps and then they start going into a lot of arm patterns, which is modern bachata. It's not Dominican traditional style. Um, so I teach those bachata styles. I could teach them separately, or sometimes I'll teach a fusion. So I don't see nothing wrong with fusion. It makes your dance more interesting. But for the purists, I do teach them separately as well. So the Dominican traditional style, I've actually learned from people in New York when I traveled there, and I also learned some from Sammy and Mexico, and some other Dominican traditional style people who came to Los Angeles, and I trained under a lot of you know people who were um, teaching master um, teacher training workshops and stuff. So I've have that experience and all that. And so I teach traditional Dominican style, which is less arm patterns, hardly any, actually not even a lot of arm patterns, just very few. And it's more like hip movements, more rhythm, even like um footwork, different types of footwork. I go into how the traditional Dominican style, how it was influenced by, say, the son, um, the bolero, the box step coming from the bolero, the box step being the main basic of the traditional Dominican style. um, I go into the merengue rhythm, how the merengue has influenced the Dominican traditional style. I go into the where the triple steps come from. Actually, comes from cha cha cha, and you'll see various footwork that has triple steps in traditional Dominican style. Um, and And yeah, I go over that, and then I go over the modern bachata, which is popular out here in Los Angeles. In my opinion, modern bachata was, I was involved in early bachata early on, and before it even got popular out here in Los Angeles, and I was like one of a few that actually danced modern bachata back then, and and a lot of us were salseros, and we would put a lot of arm patterns in the side to side basic, and this has evolved and stuff, and now you see a lot of different new patterns going on. So I definitely teach, modern bachata as well. And I also teach central style. Um, you know, before it was even called central style, we were already kind of doing that kind of stuff in modern bachata already. Especially with the body waves and the chest rolls and the hip rolls and the head rolls and this and that. And thing is now you got central people who kind of embrace what's called Brazilian Zouk, and they're trying to incorporate a lot of Brazilian Zouk moves into central style and you know and I'm more of the old school central style. I do incorporate some of the new stuff, some of the Zouk moves and stuff like that. But I'm more into the old school central style, the early phase of that. But I'm open, to new moves and everything. So I'll incorporate some new stuff as well. You gotta always, adapt and evolve and stuff like that. So, and then I teach a fusion of all that too as well. I definitely teach the Dominican traditional style. We could go from box step and then into the side to side modern bachata arm patterns, and then we could start getting close into what I call wedging and start doing the central style and everything. So definitely there's different styles of bachata, and that's what I teach there. And then merengue, obviously, I teach merengue. So I teach even what's called merengue house. So you could do merengue music to house music, right? And you know, and or a lot of times it's Latin house. I call it Latin house, and it's usually like merengue footwork. So um actually, I Latin house has a lot of stuff. You could put a lot of, salsa, cumbia, merengue, cha cha cha, and what's called Latin house. But I say a good one is putting merengue into and making it like you could turn it into house, like house dancing. So it actually works really good. There's even a genre like merengue house, back in the old school days. So and so I teach solo merengue as well as the art patterns too. So arm patterns, I teach people how to do that. So also I teach cha cha cha, and I teach what's called is the cha 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 on two. I don't well, I could teach cha 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 on one, but I usually teach it on two. And I could teach ballroom cha cha cha, but I teach mostly, kind of like the Eddie Torres New York style cha cha cha. And and I like the Eddie Torres style because he also emphasized what's called Latin boogaloo. So Latin boogaloo is kind of like cha 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 with soul type steps, and there's a whole genre called Latin boogaloo back in the 60s and 70s and stuff like that. So, and I show you how to do Latin boogaloo solos and then transition into the cha 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 footwork as well. So that's what I teach there. And I'm actually, I think I'm at the probably maybe the only or maybe one of the few in Los Angeles that teaches Latin boogaloo with cha cha cha, you know, because I've seen other instructors and they're just teaching ballroom cha cha cha. Um, I teach the Eddie Torres style and stuff like that because I actually like it, Latin boogaloo and everything. And also I teach what's called Rockabilly Jive. I've been involved in that for a very long time, Rockabilly Jive and stuff, and the Rockabilly scene, and and so I teach the partner work as well as the solo bopping. It's called bopping. I teach that as well, and I also teach Latin hustle. So um, I'm teaching that now. So and lot of Latin hustle actually comes from salsa as well. A lot of so if you're a salsero and you'll like Latin hustle, and you could find it's easy to transition to Latin hustle as well. Although it's a little different and stuff, but it's not that too hard. But actually, Latin hustle, yeah, it came from the salsa, the mambo, and stuff like that. And then also I teach swing as well. So I teach I don't teach Lindy Hop. I can do some Lindy Hop, but I don't teach it. So but I teach what's it called? Um I teach the was it 6 count swing, and I also teach the triple step swing as well. And so that's what and I actually incorporate a fusion of rockabilly jive too at times with swing, and they actually call this modern jive, right? And also or some countries call it rock and roll, right? Like in Australia they call it rock and roll. It's kind of like a mix of rockabilly jive and swing. So I could teach rockabilly jive separately and swing separately, or I could fuse them and into what's called modern jive or rock and roll. So and and speaking of rockabilly jive, I forgot that you not only could dance to the 1950s type music, but I also teach you can dance rockabilly jive to rock en español. It's all rock and roll, right? You can dance rockabilly jive to rock and roll, right? But it actually rockabilly jive actually goes pretty well with rock en español. So interesting. So yeah, those are the type of dances that I teach, and you know, definitely. And I teach out here in the San Fernando Valley, California. I teach group and private lessons. Um, and you could actually go to my website and find more information at dancecoachrudy.com. I'll have the information in at the bottom of this video as well, the link and stuff. And yeah, and you can also um message me as well on Instagram. Just type up dance underscore coach underscore Rudy. Find me on Instagram. Add me. I'll put the link in the bottom as well. So definitely, yeah, that's the stuff that I teach and everything, and it's pretty fun. Dance is a really good, activity to pretty much undertake. Like it's a form of exercise. You burn calories, you move around, keep your body moving and mobile. There's so many benefits to dance. Actually, there's a book on, I forgot the name of it, but the benefits of dance, what it does. It even improves your brain health, your mobility, your blood flow, you know, just a lot of stuff, and it's a cool activity too. You can always have fun, go to parties or clubs and dances, and so it's a good form of socializing. Um, you know, and also I forgot, if you guys need dance lessons for your parties, you know, if you need a dance instructor to teach at your club, um, or your quinceañeras or your weddings and all that, feel free to send me a message. You could send me a message on Instagram, Dance Coach Rudy. and definitely contact me there. Or you could contact me in the information at the bottom. I'll put my number down there so you can text me and stuff. Actually, I'm better at responding to texts. Um, but just definitely text me, and if you're interested, you need some dance lessons. Um, some people like group classes, but some people like I have students that take group classes, but also private lessons, and the private lessons are more like personal, and if you need like to improve on a lot of different things, we'll work on that, and I seen students of mine that they take dance classes, but then when they take private lessons, they excel a lot better and faster, and they start dancing better. Just like anything, dance is a skill, it's an art, but you gotta stick with it. You gotta keep at it. Don't just get. I tell beginners this: don't get discouraged if you come to my class and you can't pick up on the footwork or arm patterns. Keep coming, keep yourself dedicated. Eventually, you start getting better. All it takes is practice and drilling. I remember when I was a beginner in certain dances, and I was like, it's kind of like a baby trying to walk. You're like, fumbling everywhere with your feet and everything. So it just takes time and dedication. Don't give up, just like with anything else. And yeah, you'll get it eventually. So definitely keep at it with the dance classes. Keep keep coming, and that's the key right there. Stay dedicated, and yeah, and also take private lessons too, so you can actually get better and everything. So yeah, so I teach all those different dance styles, and it's pretty cool. Like I like these dance styles. This is why I teach them. And I I dance. I dance a lot. I social dance and everything. I'm always going to dance socials and clubs and everything. Um, and it's pretty interesting. And sometimes, um, you know, um, some of my students, I'll have like pop up socials, and I'll tell them, hey, show up to this event. We'll all dance. So that's what I do sometimes. That some of my students end up showing up to the socials, and we all start dancing. It's good practice for them. So social dancing is a must. That's that's the goal though. The goal is to you keep coming to my dance classes and everything, and you want to get to the point where you're able to freestyle social dance. So that's the goal right there. Some people want other stuff like choreography or performances. Um, but it's I do give that as well. I can teach you a choreography and everything, but I actually emphasize more that you be able to become comfortable with the dance and learn how to even social dance. That way you can be more confident, and be comfortable at being able to dance. Because I've seen people who right away just want a quick choreography, right? And then when they perform, they yeah, there's so when they perform, um they they how you call it, they don't have a good grasp of the dance, and you could tell that they don't have a good grasp of it, and sometimes people want choreography at the last minute, and so like before they perform at a wedding or something like that. And I tell people, hey, if you want to look good and you don't want to look like you're, you can't like you're just like not really good at the dance. You need to, train with me earlier, not at the last minute. And so that way we could keep going over the choreography where you're really comfortable and you're able to, look even comfortable as you're dancing. That's just from some of my experience doing choreographies out here. I sometimes get people out of nowhere. Hey, I need a quick choreography for my wedding and stuff like that. And then like, okay, when is your wedding? Oh, in 1 week. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, you wanna, and then they want a salsa choreography or something like that. I'm like, wow. Well, we're gonna have to train a lot. If it's 1 week, we're gonna have to train a lot, and we'll see what happens. But it's better that you contact me like you know um maybe a couple months before you decide to perform for your wedding choreography, and so that way you can be more comfortable and more confident. But yeah, definitely dancing is pretty cool. I mean, it's a good social activity, good to socialize, a form of exercise, and just enjoy the music and the dance. Out here in Los Angeles, we have a big salsa scene, salsa and bachata. We even have cumbia now. That's growing. Cumbia is getting big out here. Before it was just salsa and bachata, but now cumbia is getting bigger out here, so it's becoming more popular. And yeah, so um, social dancing is, it's a pretty good activity and it's pretty fun. Um, so, anyways, if you guys are interested, I teach dance classes in the San Fernando Valley, and that's San Fernando Valley, Los Angeles, California, and also in different places like in the city of San Fernando at the VFW on Tuesdays, and also at um was it at is it at a two other parks. One is El Criso Park, and the other is, let me see. Let me try to remember the name because sometimes I get confused with certain parks out here because sometimes they change their names and everything. So let me actually just look it up right now. So let's try to get this information down. Brand Park in Mission Hills. That's where it is. So Brand Park in Mission Hills on Saturdays. Um, and and Wednesdays at El Criso Park, and Tuesdays at the VFW San Fernando. And I'll have all the info below the video and with my links and everything, so you can get a hold of me even on Instagram, Dance Coach Rudy. Anyways, well, and subscribe to my channel and share this, spread the word, let other peoples know, they want to learn some dances, you know, uh, join my dance classes, or they want to learn how to, they want some private lessons, definitely. And, if they want to learn how to social dance or they need a choreography for, say their wedding or quince or they, what else? Or they just need a instructor for their, club. Definitely get in contact with me. And again, let me repeat: I teach salsa, cumbia, bachata, merengue, cha cha cha, rockabilly, jive, Latin hustle, and swing, popping, house dance, funk, high energy. That's what I teach right there. So, if you guys are interested, hit me up, message me. Anyways, you guys have a good day, and subscribe to my channel, share this, and tell others about my dance classes in the San Fernando Valley. And also stay tuned. I'll be having more lives coming up, more live videos, and just sharing just different topics and talking about different experiences, anything that has to do with dance. I'll be pretty much coming on here more often. Anyways, this is dance coach Rudy. Uh, have a good day and take care.